Let's go now to new calls for justice in the shooting death of Florida teen Trayvon Martin. And at this hour, new details are emerging about the shooter, a neighborhood watch captain who's not been charged with any crime. The 17-year-old victim was unarmed, and new information from 911 calls are raising more questions this weekend. NBC's Lilia Luciano is live for us in Miami. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Alex. We are hearing reports this morning that the shooter was, quote, an avid 911 caller. Neighbors describing as being passionate about security. One neighbor said that George Zimmerman would circle the block and circle it, that it was weird. On January 1st, on New Year's, he called 911 46 times. So clearly he volunteered for this job. It was something he was passionate about. And now that raises questions about his I can't say motive, but raises questions about everything surrounding this shooting. Now, the reason why he has not been arrested is because he claimed that he fired in self-defense, and police say they don't have any evidence to prove the contrary. But Trayvon Martin's family is challenging that. They ask what could have been so threatening about a 17-year-old boy walking back from a convenience store unarmed. When police found his body, he was carrying no more than a bag of Skittles, some money, and a can of iced tea. And now we have these 911 calls. On the calls that we'll listen to in just a few seconds, the first call is George Zimmerman talking to a 911 operator. The operator urges him not to follow suit, not to get out of his car, not to follow this allegedly suspicious person, but clearly he ignored that operator's request and he proceeded. Then what we'll hear is some descriptions from neighbors who were calling as their altercation was going on. On some calls, we'll hear some cries for help. Martin's family says those cries came from Trayvon Martin. George Zimmerman told police that he was the one crying for help. Let's listen to these calls.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
But I did hear someone yelling, help, 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 and something like that, or, oh my gosh, or something, and, like moaning, and then I heard a boom.
Okay, why do you think someone's been shot?
Because it rang out in the backyard, and gun just went off, and they said call 911. Now there's people coming with flashlights. Get inside, get inside, get inside.
I'm looking out my window, like my backyard, and someone's yelling and screaming, help. And I heard, like a pop noise,
okay.
And they're both still out there right now. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I can tell you right now, you're not the only person that's calling. We already have one officer on scene and another on the way.
Oh, good.
However,
oh, my God, I see the person right now. I see him, like, walking. There's a man coming out. There's people coming out with flashlights. Oh, my God, I don't know what he did to this person.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
All right, what is your phone number?
There's gunshots.
Incredibly dramatic. Here is what witnesses have come forward to say.
My point is that I feel it was not self-defense because I heard the crying, and if it was Zimmerman that was crying, Zimmerman would have continued crying after the shot went off if Zimmerman was hurt. However, with the boy crying, once the gun went off, he was unable to continue crying. It was 7 o'clock at night. Children were riding their bikes. This is a very quiet neighborhood. Children were riding their bikes and playing along that sidewalk.
Now, Martin's family claims that his death was the result of racial profiling. They're getting incredible support from the community, from the mayor. There's a service being held today at a church, and Reverend Al Sharpton from MSNBC already said that he'll be down in Orlando this week to support them. Alex?
I got to tell you, listening to this, absolute chills when you hear that shot. There's going to be a lot of discussion as to whether or not that voice was indeed Mr. Zimmerman's or Trayvon Martin's. And that, I think, is going to be the $64,000 question, getting that sorted out. Thank you, Lilia, and I know we'll speak with you again.